Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. I hope your days are gentle and your moments peaceful. This is ASMR Newsroom. I always find that after busy days, when I'm getting ready for bed, I want to catch up on the news without feeling too energized. I wished there was a place where I could remain relaxed and informed at the same time. And that is why I created this channel. Now that I have some more time on my hands, I want to share a soothing space for all of us who feel the same way. Here, we can gently catch up on the news and enjoy our tingles while drifting toward a peaceful state. In these wild and sometimes frightening political times, please know that I am here for you. We are all on this journey together, and every soft word and calm update is meant to remind you that you are not alone, even when the world feels overwhelming. Here we create a refuge where the complexities of politics are explained with warmth and care. Today is the night of the 24th of February, 2025. As you settle into your favorite cozy spot, perhaps with a warm cup of tea beside you, take a slow, deep breath and let my gentle voice guide you through today's political landscape. We will explore several important developments, each one presented in a relaxed and reflective tone so that even the most challenging news can be absorbed calmly. Let us begin with a development that has sent ripples of unease through the halls of government. Recently, Elon Musk, a prominent tech leader and head of the controversial Doge Committee within the US government, sent out a very striking email to federal employees. In that email, thousands of dedicated public servants were instructed to respond with a brief summary of their accomplishments over the past week, and they were warned that failure to reply within 48 hours would be taken as an automatic resignation. Imagine, if you will, the soft hum of an office suddenly filled with uncertainty as the inboxes of federal workers receive this chilling directive. Some agencies have chosen to ignore the email, while others find themselves caught in a state of confusion and disarray. Many have described this action as something that belongs in the pages of a comic book, yet it is very real and serves as a stark reminder of how power can be wielded to disrupt the delicate balance of our institutions. At the same time, across the country, town hall meetings are taking place, where ordinary citizens gather to voice their concern. In these meetings, voters are expressing their frustration with what they see as unchecked authoritarian behavior and misguided policy. In one such event, a representative was confronted by a room filled with people who asked, in gentle yet determined tones, what would be done to rein in these excessive moves. The room, filled with an array of emotions, from anger to hope, becomes a space where people come together to demand accountability from those in power. The energy here is both intense and sincere, as people remind their elected representatives that they deserve to be heard, that their lives matter, and that the government must work for all of us, not just a select few. Another significant area of concern involves our military and national defense. In a move that many find unprecedented, top military officials at the Pentagon have been relieved of their duties. A highly respected military leader, known for his decades of service, was recently fired in a manner that has sent shockwaves through the armed forces. This purge of the Pentagon is being justified by some as a necessary step to remove what they describe as outdated and overly politicized practices. However, many view this as a dangerous sign of authoritarian overreach, one that disrupts the long-standing traditions and stability of our national defense. Picture the steady rhythm of a drum, symbolizing years of military honor, now interrupted by sudden, sweeping changes. Such actions leave many quietly worried about the future, wondering how these shifts might affect not only our defense but also the very fabric of democratic accountability. In parallel with these domestic challenges, there is a growing concern about the influence of billionaires and corporate power in our government. Some critics have pointed out that certain actions, such as the threatening email and the mass layoffs that have reportedly already affected hundreds of thousands of federal workers, are not merely about cutting waste, but about consolidating power in the hands of a few wealthy individuals. They argue that when a person with immense wealth and influence directs such drastic measures, it creates a climate of fear and instability. Imagine a calm pond suddenly disturbed by unexpected ripples. Even the gentlest disturbance can spread widely, affecting every corner of our society. This is a reminder that when corporate interests override the needs of hardworking public servants, the consequences are felt by us all. On the international front, our nation's aggressive economic policies are resonating far beyond our borders. In Canada and Mexico, leaders are responding to our tariffs with their own measures. Canadian officials have been urging a return to friendly trade relations, emphasizing dialogue and cooperation rather than confrontation. In Mexico, government leaders are working diligently to protect local industries and support citizens who feel the economic impact of these policies. Even in Beijing, officials are hinting at the possibility of taking legal action through international forums, suggesting that these disputes may lead to long and complex negotiations. Think of these global exchanges as a delicate dance where every step is measured, every move is deliberate, and the hope is that mutual respect and understanding can eventually prevail over unilateral action. Meanwhile, in the media landscape, there has been growing criticism of the narratives being promoted by some popular voices. Some commentators have noted that there is an overemphasis on praising certain billionaires, with media personalities dedicating excessive attention to figures who may not represent the true interests of the people. This trend has prompted calls for a return to more balanced reporting, one that prioritizes substance over sensationalism, and that holds leaders accountable for their actions without resorting to empty flattery. In quiet online discussions, many are beginning to reject the notion that financial success is an infallible measure of merit, instead urging a closer look at the real impact of policies on ordinary citizens. Imagine a clear, gently flowing stream where every drop of water contributes to a transparent whole, free from distortion and exaggeration. On the political stage, there is also a notable counterbalance emerging from the progressive side. Senator Bernie Sanders, for example, has announced an anti-oligarchy tour designed to reconnect with working-class voters. At his events, crowds are filled with hope and determination as Bernie speaks in measured tones about the need for fair wages, universal health care, and a robust social safety net. His message is one of empowerment, urging people to reject the notion that a small group of billionaires should control the destiny of our nation. Picture a room filled with gentle applause and warm, supportive murmurs, a testament to the power of grassroots activism, where every voice, no matter how quiet, contributes to a larger, unifying chorus, calling for a more just society. In addition to these domestic updates, there are also important developments concerning technology and public safety. One particularly unsettling issue involves plans to integrate brain chips into everyday life. Under the guise of innovation, there are proposals to implant Neuralink devices in citizens, a move that has been met with both fascination and deep concern. What makes this even more troubling is that key safety officials responsible for monitoring the testing of these devices have been abruptly dismissed. These scientists and experts, whose careful work ensures that technological advancements do not come at the expense of safety and ethical standards, are now being sidelined. Imagine a quiet laboratory, once filled with the reassuring sound of diligent work, now silent and uncertain, as those who keep our technology in check are removed. This action, described by many as beyond the realm of comic book villainy, is a stark reminder of the dangers of unbridled ambition when it is coupled with authoritarian impulses. In another related development, there is growing debate over the dismantling of important regulatory agencies. Some observers have noted that actions such as the mass layoffs and the firing of oversight personnel are part of a broader trend to weaken the very institutions that protect us from corporate excess and abuse. The dismantling of agencies like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which has been instrumental in returning billions of dollars to defrauded Americans, is seen as a deliberate move to prioritize the interests of the wealthy over those of ordinary citizens. Picture a carefully built structure that, when even one of its key supports is removed, begins to crumble. This slow erosion of accountability is deeply concerning, as it leaves the most vulnerable among us without the safety nets we so desperately need. On a more reflective note, local communities across our nation are stepping up to fill the void left by these sweeping changes. In town hall meetings and community forums, citizens are engaging in thoughtful discussions about how to reclaim control over their lives and demand greater transparency from their leaders. These gatherings, filled with soft voices and earnest conversations, are a gentle reminder that democracy is not something that happens in isolation. It is built on the shared commitment of each individual to participate and make their voice heard. The soft murmur of these meetings, the gentle exchange of ideas, and the compassionate resolve to fight for what is right create a harmonious backdrop that reassures us all that we have the power to bring about meaningful change. As we turn our gaze to the international stage once more, we see that the repercussions of our nation's policies are being felt across the globe. In Europe, lawmakers are engaged in measured debates on how best to counteract economic nationalism and restore the balance between growth and social justice. Their discussions, carried out in calm, deliberate tones, evoke the image of an elegant dance where every step is made with careful consideration. In Australia, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has recently announced plans to renegotiate trade agreements, emphasizing that economic progress must always be paired with social justice and a commitment to inclusion. Similarly, in the Philippines, President Bongbong Marcos has introduced reforms aimed at combating corruption and increasing transparency in government spending. Though these measures have sparked mixed reactions, many see them as hopeful steps toward a more accountable governance that prioritizes the needs of the many over the wealth of the few. In the midst of all this change, there is also a growing sentiment among citizens that the old order is finally being challenged. Grassroots movements are gaining strength, and ordinary people are beginning to question the legitimacy of policies that seem to benefit only a select few. Whether it is through peaceful protests, digital conversations, or quiet gatherings in local communities, there is a collective awakening, a recognition that our society must be built on fairness, transparency, and compassion. This awakening is like a gentle tide, slowly but surely reshaping the landscape of our democracy. I want to remind you again that during these wild and sometimes frightening political times, you are not alone. I am here with you, offering a soothing voice and a gentle presence to help you process the events of the day. Each policy decision, every debate, and all the news that unfolds is part of our shared journey toward a more just and compassionate future. As you listen, imagine a serene landscape with a quiet stream flowing over smooth stones, each ripple a tender reminder that change, no matter how gradual, is always happening. Thank you for joining me on this extended, reflective journey through today's political news. As you prepare to drift into a peaceful night, may you feel the gentle assurance that even in the midst of chaos, hope, unity, and justice will always guide us. Breathe deeply, remain calm, and let the steady rhythm of democracy and compassion carry you through every moment. Until next time, stay peaceful, stay informed, and let your heart be your guide on this journey. Remember, I am here for you, and together we will continue to find solace and strength in the gentle echoes of our shared commitment to a better tomorrow.